What's up, guys? It's Matt again, and today I'm doing something new. This is obviously Call of Duty 2, one of my favorite games. I know I say that about every game, but CoD2 holds a special place in my heart for various reasons. But honestly, I want to jump right in the story and not give anything away. Something I have to go over first. The music here in the background. It's actually a mix made by a friend of mine. I'll put a link in the description if you want it. But honestly, it was an accident because I had music on in the background when I was frapsing, and for some reason it didn't make sense in my mind that it would show up in this recording. But this is like my 12th time recording this demo because of various reasons. So you're gonna deal with it because I've had so much trouble getting videos together recently. And yeah, I think you'll be fine just listening to music. It might actually make it better. I don't know. So I'm gonna jump right in my story. Basically, in high school, I was never really a gamer at all. Basically, my thing was sports. I played football in the fall, and then I did weightlifting all winter, and then played lacrosse in the spring. And then when summer came around, I was back doing football workouts. So sports was really my thing. Whereas now it's all gaming and stuff like that. My thing was being an athlete, hanging out with athletes, yada yada yada. Whatever, that was my thing basically. And senior year of football, it was a really big year for us. We're having a good team. We've been playing together for 4 years, and I played offensive guard and linebacker. So those are some pretty key positions, and I was really putting a lot of pressure on myself. And one of the games we played senior year, it was against the biggest team. I don't mean the biggest oh they're the best and if we beat them we'll beat the best, or biggest they had the most players. This team had the biggest fucking kids in the entire league. It was ridiculous. It was a farm town, so obviously kids were fed whole cows at breakfast or something. Cause these kids were huge, and I'm not very big. As an offensive lineman, most of the kids in our league were 200 pounds. I was 180 tops. So I'm getting killed here. And one play on linebacker, I read it perfectly. I'm running down the line, and all I remember is falling down. And I remember falling down and then closing my eyes and holding my leg, and people were running off the field. And basically what had happened was I destroyed my leg. Absolutely snapped the two lower bones in your leg, where your shin is, where your calf muscle is. That was jutting out to the side, disgustingly, bone through the skin and everything. And it was pretty bad. People were running out of the field scared because of how bad it was. My trainer said it was the worst injury he'd ever seen. But basically what this has to do, I'll just continue my story. I don't know what I'm trying to explain myself. Basically, I get to the hospital and they fix it up. I get put under. I wake up the next morning and the doctor's talking to me. He's well, that was a pretty bad break, how are you feeling now? And obviously I was drugged up, so I was I'm fine, whatever. And he was well, this is kind of hard for me to say, you're not gonna be able to be playing sports for a while. And I looked at him and was well, obviously I'm not gonna be playing football anymore. I'm a senior, and I just broke my fucking leg, right? And I was yeah, well, it goes a little bit farther than that. With good rehab, it might be 6 months to a year the next time you're gonna play any sort of sports or do any sort of physical activity. And at that point, I literally died inside. I was dead inside. That's pretty much how I felt. How am I gonna go through life never competing again? I was a senior in high school, which means I'm not gonna have any other chances to do anything competitive. So I was sort of really dead. This is my passion, and now it's gone for a year of my entire life. I'm a young kid, so it was really heavy for me to hear. So, I'm going home, and I literally can't do anything on my own. My brother had to help me in and out of the shower to clean myself. It was that bad. So basically all I had at the time were, video games and TV. So I didn't start right away get into PC games. What I ended up doing more was playing on like consoles and stuff, but I never had like PS2 or Xbox or anything. I had Super Nintendo, and the game I played most of all was Mega Man. And if you notice in the kill feed here, the gamer tag I have is MOF, which I'll get to a little bit later, Mega Man. And the reason for that is because obviously Mega Man is just an amazing game character. Thought he's sick, yada yada yada. I especially love the Mega Man X games. Like, really hope there's a point in time where I get to make those. Of course I like Zero more, but like in every gaming community there's like 10 to 20 zeros, and none of them are zero for Mega Man. Sort of like how in every gaming community there's like 10 to 20 clouds, and not a single one of them is Cloud from Final Fantasy VII, which is retarded. I actually have a friend, but you know, it's retarded, dude. Change your name. But yeah. So I took the name Mega Man. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm sorry. So like, I don't know. I basically beat Mega Man X, which was the only Mega Man I had for Super Nintendo, and like, you know, Super Mario World can only get you so far before you get pissed off about getting lost into that stupid forest. So one day my dad was like, you know, buddy, why don't you play this game I've been playing for a while, because CoD2 was his, and he was like, you know, I play it a lot after work, you know, it relaxes me, and it could be like something you could have fun with. I was like, alright, like I could sit up at that point. So basically what I did was I put my broken leg like and sat it on top of the tower of the computer that he was using, and like played like that. And you know, I still remember like the first time I played, it was actually in the MMF server, and it was on MP Dujain, which is the map you see here. Probably the most popular map in all of Call of Duty ever. But the gun I had was the Bren, which obviously was the most retarded choice of a gun for my dad to give me for the first one. Like, this thing takes up, I don't know if I used it in this video, I don't think so, but this gun takes up half the entire screen, and like, the reload time is literally, I wouldn't be surprised if it was like 3 whole seconds. Like, that doesn't sound a lot, but when you're reloading, 3 seconds takes forever. Not to mention, like, the bash is the slowest thing in gaming. Like, you swing the Warhammer in like Elder Scrolls Skyrim slower than you Bren bash. It's retarded. But like, I used this gun and I sucked. But I liked that it was with other people. Like it was something I could compete in. Like, I could feel myself like getting more out of this thing than just like time going away where I have a broken leg. Like, I actually started to enjoy it, and I started playing it a lot more. Like, basically I ended up no-lifing this thing while I couldn't walk or go to school or anything. And I really liked Search and Destroy, so I ended up playing on Knight's Rifles, which, if people are watching this who are familiar with CoD2 and 1.0, Knight's Rifles is like, it's basically legendary. Like, it's just short of legendary. Like, everybody knows the dude plays there. It was full of douchebags, but like, it was still like the most popular server. And like, I remember really wanting to be in a clan at the time. Like, if I could get into Knights, like, I would basically die happy. Like, that's how I felt at the time. Some other big clans back then. Fuse was obviously really big. What else? X Crew was cool, but all of them were like really cocky because they like played 1.3 at some point and like thought they were the shit. But whatever, like, it's not important. But yeah, I ended up going to the mouse server randomly because, like, I don't know, I got bored of Knights because eventually I realized that no matter how good I did, like, they had this thing about being invite only, and like, I was a new kid, so like, I was never gonna get invited. So like, it was whatever, I just wanted to play something different. And the cool thing about Moth was it had custom maps and like custom mod, which was awesome. Like, you could cook your nades, it had stun grenades, which was pretty sweet. It had a sprint, which was really awesome. And I remember going in there, and one of the first first members I met was MOF Metallica, who honestly has one of the most badass names in gaming. But basically right off the bat he was like, hey, you know, you can join MOF if you want. And like I remember at the time I was like, wait, is he inviting me to this clan? Like, am I gonna be in a clan? Like, is my dream going to be realized? And like I was like hesitant to respond, and he like ended up disconnecting. I was like, oh my god, did I ruin my chances? No. And like I wanted to talk to him again about it, but I didn't want to talk to him while other people were on the server. Like I was so nervous about embarrassing myself for some reason. And eventually, like it had to be like 3 or 4 days later, like we were alone again. I was like, so can I join the clan? I was like, oh yeah, whatever, just put on tags. Like I was like, wait, how do I get tags? Like I was so stupid. I was 18 years old. Like I literally thought people had to like give you tags like through the internet or something. But like it's like, no, you just change your name. So I ended up changing my name, and like I had these really sexy tags. They're like dark blue stars, and then the MOF, and then I had like my name in like the cyan colors, so it could be like Mega Man colors, and like I thought it was awesome. And so I started not playing on Knights Rivals anymore because they were pretty much douchebags, and like everyone's like, oh no, I have the best kills, like oh no, you wallhack, and like whatever. That's so stupid. Like I sometimes get into it, which is retarded of me, but like it's stupid. I shouldn't worry about it. And like MOF was just so chill. Like the mods were cool, the custom maps were awesome. Like and the people there were just like the nicest people like in any gaming community ever. Like they were so nice, and like they came from all walks of life, which was awesome. Like we had one guy who was like manager of like this big corporation. We had Metallica, who I was just talking about, who was he's from Uruguay actually. Like actually have him on Facebook now, and we talk from time to time. So like there was just a ton of cool people, and I ended up being friends with people online, which like when you're like an athlete in high school and you're like, oh yeah, I met these guys online, and like are your friends like, oh, are they trying to rape you or something? Like that's like honestly the mentality people have about people online. Like they're not to be trusted, yada yada yada. And like honestly, that just there's nothing farther from the truth. Like just from MOF alone, like people I've met, like you know, I talk about Metallica, let's see, Chong Lang, like I make fun of him a ton, or we did at the time, and you know, he helped me through a lot, like a few summers ago. Let's see who else. One of my best friends through gaming, Justin Warner, who like I don't know, I'm gonna talk about him a lot through this game. Like we actually met in person. Like he's an awesome guy, and you know, one of my good friends. Who else was in MOF? I had this all planned out, and now I can't think of anyone. I'm freezing up. But Lex, of course, like Lexington, Washington. He actually goes by Lex now. He's actually like one of my biggest fans on YouTube now, which is awesome. I really appreciate you for doing all that, Lex. But he's another good person I met through MOF, and like it was just enjoyable, like having these conversations with people that were like worlds apart. Literally, like Metallica's from South America, and I like talk to him every day. Justin Warner from Ohio. Who else? Acosta. How can I forget about Acosta? He's from Florida, and like people all over the country, like let alone the world, like people literally all around the world that I'm talking to, like every day. Like I don't know, it was just a really good experience for me. But you know, there's more to this story, of course. So there were a few days where like random people would come into the MOF server and be like, hey guys, let's have a match. And this was like, oh my god, this is how I'm gonna get my competitive spirit back. So like we'd go do like 3v3s or like 4v4s or something silly like that, and usually we'd get destroyed because like our server was like all like modded and crap, and people were like, no, we're gonna use this mod and it's gonna be like more legit, and yeah, we got killed, whatever. So that wasn't very much fun, but I enjoyed competing. Like, it was the first time I'd gotten any competition in since I broke my leg, and this was like probably this summer. Yeah, it was probably this summer that I broke my leg. So like I broke my leg in October, so like a good like 6 months later, I'm guessing. I'm not even positive. And eventually, I talked about X Crew briefly. They decided they were gonna do this tournament. I forget what it's called. I think it was the like Just Too Easy tournament or something. And the person who ran it was Tipsy, who's another one of my good friends I met through CoD2. He's actually making me do a game that I should upload soon. I don't want to do this game because it's scary as hell, but whatever, it's not important. So, he was part of this, and like he was organizing this tournament, and we were getting absolutely obliterated, like to the point where like I almost wasn't having fun because on the football team we never lost, yada yada yada. But like eventually, it was like I'm competing. This is awesome, and eventually, like I went to college, and oh, this is actually an important part I didn't even take note of. So I go to college, and I'm realizing, you know, this game used to be pretty awesome. Like I find some videos online, like awesome frag movies, like We Are CoD2, freaking amazing stuff by Radio, and I'm like, why isn't this game like this anymore? Like, why aren't people competing like every day? Like, it just didn't make sense to me. So I ended up talking to one of my friends who was in Moth as well, Moth Freak. Actually, he didn't go by Moth Freak, he went by like Pirate or something, but he was a younger guy. But he went for Freak in Knights Rifles, which was like where all the big name players were. And I knew if I could get him on my side, that we could get like a really solid like thing going here. And basically the idea I pitched to him was like a top 10 of Call of Duty 2. And he was like, alright, let me talk to a couple people. And he actually introduced me to Mikey, who I'm good friends with now. He's like, he quit Call of Duty recently and is doing this iRacing thing, but whatever. But Mikey was like, yeah, this is a pretty good idea, and I'm trying to get into video editing so like I can edit this stuff for you. I was like, awesome. I mean, I guess I can commentate. Like, I mean, if you think my voice was bad now, you should have seen these videos. They're absolutely shit. I was like, and now oh, headshot. Like, that's as excited as I got for this thing. And that's where I made my first YouTube CoD2 Top 10. And it was actually kinda successful. I don't know. It was actually really dumb, but like people liked it for some reason, and people were like, oh yeah, nice. And like I ended up getting like a ton of views, and it was awesome. And that's like what started me like with YouTube and stuff. So like there probably wouldn't be a map playing YouTube channel if it wasn't for CoD2 Top 10, regardless of how bad it went in the end. But while I was doing this, you know, I met Freak and Mikey, and like, you know, we should get a team together. I was like, well, like, you mean a clan? Because I had never heard of like a competitive team really. I only heard of like clans, which are more like communities, you know. And they were like, no, if we do a team, we can compete like Tipsy's team does. I was like, oh, okay, that's pretty cool. I guess I'll be down for that. And I forget what the name was at the time. It's not really important. But basically, like, I was playing with these guys, and I ended up meeting some new people. Cody, who's like Freak's neighbors, and is like a complete asshole, but like I still love him and play like StarCraft with him and stuff. He's actually pretty cool. I caused to actually join that team, which was awesome because I was good friends with him at the time. One of my really good friends, Disaster, joined that team, which like, I don't know, he's another one of my good friends, not as cool as Justin Warner, but like we talk all the time. Like we always argue about who's probably better at beer pong because we've never actually met in person, but we are all ballers at beer pong, excuse me. And so yeah, I was meeting new people with that, and what ended up happening is we started playing on 1.3, which is like the final patch of Call of Duty 2. It's like the most advanced. It has the best anti-cheat. It has the best, like, I don't know, it's just the best, and that's where like all the competition happens. And like we got to the point where we were scrimming like 5 or 6 maps every single night, and it was just awesome. It was like having a football game every fucking night, and like I loved it. And like it honestly like saved me from that point where I was like when I was dead inside, when I heard I wasn't going to be playing sports again, like it took me like honestly like probably an entire year before I got to the point where I was like, this will work. Like I can replace sports now that I'm in college with games. Like this, it was just such a void in my life that was filled by like awesome people and like awesome experiences. And like sure, like we got beat every time, and like we only played like 2 teams. I don't know, like Tipsy's team, who actually moved to 1.3 as well. Like he had Dixie, who I used to think was a douchebag, but now it's actually pretty cool. Zooks, who we used to think is cheap, but who we used to think cheated. But I mean, he's cool. He's German, like whatever. They had Timmer. Cooks was really good. White Sox is like an all-around badass. Um, just all these awesome players I got to play with, and like it was another community that like I ended up being a part of, which was awesome. Like sure, I had the college community. I was like nerding out in my room, like only playing CoD2, which would have been really sad. But like I was like part of another community that sure it wasn't muff with like just having fun, like yeah whatever, we're just having fun, like oh nice shot, yada yada yada, to like we're competing hardcore, trying to win every single map even though we're getting destroyed, yada yada yada. I'm sorry I'm rushing, guys. This is just like a really big talk I wanted to give, because like if it wasn't for CoD2, like I wouldn't be playing games. This wouldn't be a part of my life. Like honestly, I wouldn't have my like computer science major, or like I wouldn't be like making these videos for you guys, or like I don't know. My life would have been so much different without Call of Duty 2, and I just wanted to convey that in this video. I'm all torn up. I'm sorry, guys. I guess this is a good point to like conclude or whatever, but like I just wanted to make a video that like highlighted my like time with CoD 2. Like I'm gonna play it till I die, and I'm gonna troll kids till I die, and I'm gonna love this game till I die, and like I'm gonna love the people I met there too. Like there's just so much I really gathered from CoD 2. Like oh man, like games from CoD 2. Like I'm just gonna open my games folder really fast, just to, like go over. Okay, so Alien Swarm, I got that from Justin Warner. He's like, oh, it's an awesome game. It's free on Steam. Steam is awesome, by the way, and you should play it. Call of Duty 4, I actually started playing that competitively with my CoD 2 buddies. Like one friend actually gave me the game. Like it's like $20, and he gave me the game for free. What else? Hedge Wars, it's a little game that Justin Warner showed me. Left 4 Dead, I got that from a custom freak. Minecraft from Freak. Portal, Justin Warner told me was free on Steam, and then we ended up playing Portal 2 together. Team Fortress, my buddy Disaster was playing it like all the time. He's like, dude, you should definitely check it out. It's a great game. It's tons of fun. Like basically every game I play now and everything I do on my computer is like, it can all be traced back to CoD 2, and I basically just want to conclude by saying like, I don't even know what I want to conclude by saying. Basically like, gaming is a good, I don't even know, dude, like, I don't know. Basically guys, take this however you want it. I understand like if you had no interest in me at all and like no interest in CoD 2, this really has any importance for you, but like it's important to realize that like games aren't like the terrible influence that a ton of people make them out to be, and like having friends on games isn't like totally nerdy and like you should die because you're socially awkward and like all that horrible stuff. Like gaming's been so good to me, and serve the people I've met through it, and I don't know. I guess that's what I should conclude with. Yeah, this is Matt. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see y'all next time. Yeah, peace.